So the iPhone 12 event is done. The Apple high-speed event. I'm sure many of you watched it. If you haven't, in this video, you're going to learn a lot about what did happen, but I want to give my reactions in this one to actually what went down. Now, if you're following me on Twitter, you can follow me at the link down below. I was actually posting that 100, they're going to release new iPhones with square sides, and that's exactly what they did. So the event got off to a pretty slow start. They started with the HomePod Mini. Now, for me, this is not an exciting product. I know many people do use home speakers, but Google has a speaker that's even cheaper than this. The Echo has a speaker that's cheaper than this. So $99 is cheaper than the original HomePod. But for me, I'm just not into these speakers. You might really like these speakers. So I think it's a good offering from Apple to keep up with the competition, but at the same time, just wasn't what I was here for. I'm sure you were there for the iPhone 12 as well. So then the event moved on to discuss the 5G, and just as Samsung has done before, they brought up a Verizon representative to discuss 5G for the iPhones. Now, Apple is late to the game when it comes to 5G, but based on what I've seen with Samsung devices, if you're not using Verizon, you're using other networks like T-Mobile, for example, 5G is not going to be a major difference to your life. And I don't think it's that widespread just yet. So 5G is one of those emerging innovations. And if you keep your iPhone for a very long time, like you probably should, if you're going to pay $1,200 for a Pro Max, for example, this will definitely matter in a couple of years from now, a year or so from now, as 5G does roll out. So it's a very important feature, but right now, I don't think it's going to be huge at this current time. Then we got on to the first iPhone, the iPhone 12. Now, here's what's key about this. This is the upgrade to the iPhone 11. What I really liked about this phone is that they went with an OLED display, number one. They also went with 5G in this phone, of course, across the iPhone line, the A14 Bionic chip, and it has the nice squared edges. So it's just a beautiful looking phone, and it comes in 5 different colors, including the new blue. This might again be one of the best selling in the lineup just because it has basically every feature you need from the iPhone without having to pay the highest price, without having to go down to a smaller size like the next one they announced, which was the iPhone 12 mini. Now, many rumors pointed that it was going to be called iPhone 12 mini. Some thought it was going to just be 12 and 12 Max, but they went with the mini name, and it makes sense because after seeing, I actually have a case for this 12 mini already. After seeing the case for this 12 mini, it's actually incredibly mini compared to basically every other iPhone that currently exists. It's a little bit bigger than the iPhone SE from 2016 and the iPhone 5S. So for people who love that phone, the dream has come true. The dream of having that full display on the front of your phone. Finally, you can have a compact size with an OLED display, the best chip in a phone, all the best features you would want from one of the more premium iPhones at a $699 price point. You're getting all of that in that beloved compact size. So for me, this was actually the most exciting announcement of the whole event, was the iPhone 12 mini. So here's a little weird thing about these two though. It's a little bit tricky when they go live. So you can actually buy the iPhone 12, the original, the regular one that's upgrading the iPhone 11 this Friday on 10/16. You can pre-order it. It'll be available on October 23rd. But the iPhone 12 mini, you got to wait until November 6th. So you do have some time to, save up for the 12 mini if that's the one you want. But if you want that iPhone 12, it's this Friday. So a little bit of a scattered release on these iPhones. So what was disappointing about the iPhone 12 announcements? Well, for me, I'm not really disappointed at all with anything that was announced with the 12 and 12 mini. Those are great little upgrades. Yes, they didn't really improve the notch. They didn't make it smaller, anything like that. It's basically the same design, but those are the everyone iPhones right there. So for me, I'm very happy with those updates. Next, they kind of talked about MagSafe cases and how you can just snap cases right onto your iPhone. Of course, those are going to be $50 cases just to be able to do that, but still you can go ahead and pick those up, the MagSafe cases for your iPhone. Kind of reminds me of those little chargers that used to be on the MagSafe chargers that used to be on the MacBook Pros from years ago. So having that easy to snap on ability is going to be a very seamless experience. I think you're going to love it. Also, the duo, little compact charger where you can charge your iPhone and the watch at the same time with the MagSafe. Pretty nice. I think that's going to be a hot accessory, but hopefully Apple can get this thing out fast, unlike what happened with that, AirPower mat thing that never actually happened. And then finally, iPhone 12 Pro and Pro Max. I like how they kept this event pretty simple. They didn't actually overextend. It was like an hour long. They just announced the HomePod and the iPhone. So I like how they kept it very simple, makes things easier to understand. But the 12 Pro and Pro Max, they started off by talking about how it's a beautiful Pro design, looking, very premium and professional, but really it has almost identical design to the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max with that matte like material on the back. Yes, the ceramic glass that they're mentioning is supposed to be 4 times stronger. We'll leave that up to the drop test channels to check that out. For me, what I want to see more of is scratch resistance, but drop resistance, we all use cases, so I'm not really concerned about that anyway. I want to see better scratch resistance, but the ceramic glass is supposed to be on most of these iPhones. We'll see how that performs. However, with the 12 Pro and Pro Max, these phones have this new Pacific blue color, and it's pretty beautiful. Not gonna lie, I'm not sure if I like it more than the midnight green of last year, but it's still a nice new color. Other than that, stainless steel edges were mentioned as if that's a new feature. No, I was not having that one, Apple. I was not overly impressed by that statement. They've been having stainless steel edges since the iPhone 10, so that's not anything new. Now, I do think because they're flat sides, they've been able to infuse the material to make that gold pop a little bit more on the stainless steel. I think the edges are going to shine more just because of them being square. I just think there's going to be more of a glimmer off them edges. So it's going to look extremely shiny and premium if that's what you're into. Next, they were kind of pushing on the display being very nice, but also then they went on to the camera. So talking about how great of a pro camera, you have like this Pro RAW feature. You now have, again, the best cameras on a smartphone in the iPhone 11 Pro. You can do Dolby HDR, Vision Video, HDR video, all this like super professional grading and things like that. And this is where they kind of lost me just a little bit, because I'm thinking to myself, yeah, this is pretty sweet. This is pretty nice. But, at the same time, the 11 Pro was already shooting pro grade video. So to push that as if it's the only thing that matters, I actually want to see more of a design bump on the iPhone 12 Pro, like maybe a reduced size in the notch, maybe an in-display or a hardware-based button, Touch ID button. I wanted to see more change there versus the camera. The camera, I did want to see a 4th camera actually, but they decided to go with a LIDAR sensor. That's another thing I think that most people won't even notice working much, but it's going to be useful down the line as more AR apps become available. Still, the LIDAR to me is just something I never really use on my iPad Pro, but at the same time, I do think it is going to be a very powerful tool as more apps implement things like augmented reality. Having the biggest screen on an iPhone, they talked about how you're going from a 5.8 on the Pro to a 6.1, and I think he said like something like, oh, this is going to be such a bigger screen. No, it's not. A 5.8 to a 6.1 is not such a bigger screen. It's a little bump, just like the 6.5 to the 6.7. That is a very little bump. There's nothing huge about that size upgrade right there. That's very small upgrade. That's 0.2 inches. We're not even talking an inch here. Now, if you go from a 6.1 inch to a 6.7 inch, that is a huge bump in size. Overall, A14 chips, the brightest displays and beautiful displays on the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max. Beautiful premium looking build again. Great cameras, especially for video. Going to crush the competition again in video. Having, of course, probably the best performance, best software updates. These are going to be great phones again, nonetheless. But they seem more like an S upgrade to me, almost like an 11 Pro S. To be honest, that's what I kind of got from these. The 5G, again, going to be great down the line. Overall, I was not super excited about the Pro announcement. I wasn't super excited, to be honest. I was super excited about the 12 with the OLED and the 12 mini being super small. Those also happen to be the more cheaper phones here. But I do like how they're dividing the line from, you can get the cheaper premium iPhone, or you can get the super premium iPhone and the Pro. I do like how they're dividing that line. So if you're the type of person who just wants everything, the best tech, you're just super into having the best technology in your pocket, you can go with the Pro. And if you just want a great iPhone, you still can get a great premium iPhone in the 12 and 12. And the 12 mini and the 12. Also, the 11 got cheaper, like $599. The iPhone XR is $499. So old phones got cheaper. That's a major win as well for people who are just waiting that out. 11 Pro and Pro Max have been dropped from the line though. So if you bought those are gone already. This is probably going to happen every year. When the 13 comes out, the 12s will probably drop out of the line as well. The only thing I really wasn't feeling was no notch improvements. I know a lot of people say, I don't care, I don't even look at that. That's a dead argument. Nobody cares. But at the same time, when every other phone out there is basically trying to get to an all screen, and Apple's the only one that's not trying to really do that right now, it doesn't seem that way. Maybe it's in development in the background, but we're not seeing it yet. It just seems like $1 trillion company. Why are we not seeing closer to an all-screen design? And that's basically perfection on a slab-style smartphone, in my opinion. So can't wait to see that. And no promotion mention. I just want to see that. An iPad, you're paying less for an iPad Pro 11 than an iPhone Pro Max, and you're still getting a smoother display on the iPad. So I want to see it. Some people say that doesn't matter. It does matter to people who don't buy an iPad, do gaming on their iPhone. They can have a better gaming experience. They can also have a smoother experience across scrolling across all applications. So that's it for me. That's my reactions to the iPhone event. I think it's pretty exciting. We'll be covering all these iPhones on the channel, so go ahead and get your thoughts down below. Keep in mind that the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro stayed at the same price at $999 and $1099, and they went up to 128 gig storage. And you can also order the 12 Pro on Friday, but that's the 16th, but you can't order the Pro Max until 11/6. So it's a little bit weird. It's like the 12 and the 12 Pro you can order, but the 12 Pro Mini and the 12 Pro Max you can't order until next month. So keep that in mind. Let me know your thoughts on what was announced today. Are you excited? What things were you most excited about? What things were you most not excited about? And share this video with people. Let them know what's popping. Brand new whip. No, we're not doing a reaction to Jack Harlow in this one, but I'll catch you on the next one. Thumbs up, subscribe for more. Nick here helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well, and peace.